This is a video about how to do task 2 of the survey assignment, and this is the part where you collaborate online. So here's the goal: is to develop an assessment that can measure the current level of the competencies that the beta care company is looking for in their employees. So let's go look at the instructions for task 2. All right, each group is going to work on 6 competencies. Then you were assigned 6 competencies. You see that automatically in the spreadsheet, and develop 8 items for each of the competencies. What items would you formulate, and how would you label the Likert scales? Those are some things that you have to debate and agree upon within your group. So let's look at the technical aspect or technical difficulty. First of all, you were provided this list of competency categories and definitions by the company, and each of these concepts or competencies with a brief description. Now the first task was to look at this whole list and see, well, does this list make sense, right? This was to simulate the theoretical discussion of all of it, the thinking part of it, right? You want to make sure that whatever you do does make sense, right? That it holds up when you have to explain what exactly we're doing here. And now it's time to actually operationalize the theoretical concepts that we came up with. And you might not agree 100% with, for example, the definition of accountability here, but that is what we're going to work with, and hopefully you critically discussed your concerns. But it is an exercise, and now we're focusing on actually developing items for accountability. So we're moving over here into the spreadsheet, and the idea was that now for each of these items that for each of these competencies, so this is group 1B, you have these 6 competencies, and now you're going to develop items here for each of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Why 8 items? The idea is that we develop a so-called item pool, and therefore that you can build your survey based on a pool of items. So let me go to an example that's already filled out. Right? We see here one person says a way to measure accountability is an item called I meet deadlines, or I take responsibility for my actions, I encourage others to take responsibility for their actions, I have time for work, my work reflects the organization's goal, and so forth. Right? So hopefully each of you in the group is adding 2 or 3 items to each of these competencies, right? The way you would measure it, and then you can come in here and comment on this. Right? You could say, hey, what's going on? Or you could start making changes, say, I meet deadlines every time. Right? Or you could say, you know what, I don't really agree with this here. I don't think this is a good way. Encourage others to take responsibility for their actions. I mean, that doesn't really say too much about their own. So you could say, I do not agree. We should focus on the individual. Right? And then somebody else might say, no, I don't agree, because I do think accountability also is part of leadership, right? How do you hold others accountable? How do you inspire others to be accountable? So yes, I do agree with it, and therefore you could start a back and forth and discuss it. So this would be the part of task 2 for you guys to fill all 6 competencies that you were assigned to fill all that out, and develop at least 8 items so that we have too much. We're not going to use all of the items for our survey, but therefore we have a choice and we can build a survey based on that item pool.